Folks, welcome to October 22nd chart review. This is the Forex. I'm going to try to make it short and sweet. I'm still not at 100%, and trying to do this in between coughing fits isn't really going to be beneficial for me right now. So I'm going to try to blast through some of the pairs, like whatever is highlighted in blue is what I had picked out from last week. The first thing that I'm going to jump into is oil. So whether it's UK oil or US oil, I'm starting to get better preference for UK lately. Just to show you an example where we're at, right? So from this retracement value all the way to the bottom, kind of cleared that 618 about a week and a half ago, I want to say. 2 Fridays ago. Yeah, so 2 weeks ago. Okay. Hit that 618, but it didn't really drop lower. So it's like it's having a fib within a fib, right? So if we go from this low to this high, you can see the rejection is off the 618. So this kind of shows me that very likely oil is going to continue on its climb. Right? We had the retracement, but it did not make a newer low. It kind of bounced off the 618 on the reverse. So good chance that this is going to keep going up. Okay. Let's start from the top. So, AUDCAD, what a stubborn sucker right here. Look at this. Just, like, how many pips shy are we from that entry zone? 15 pips approximately, so that's a bit of a bummer. Super close though, right? Like, I was predicting it would hit off that red line. That was really the only basis I was going off of, and it seemed to be pretty good in that case. It just didn't touch it. It kind of came short, right? So a bit of a bummer, right? We can still do off that 4-hour EMA shift, but as you see, it's been extremely messy. It's just been consolidating. So I'll keep the trade idea open. It is possible that it'll drop lower, but again, not until there's a solid EMA shift. Right now, it's just kind of hanging around no man's land. AUDJPY. Oh man, this was a very messy entry, right? I was mentioning as well on the 4-hour EMA shift, but look, the original EMA shift would have been right here, and then that would have been pretty decent except for this garbage that happened on Thursday. Like, what a mess right here, right? If it would have been the trade taken after this EMA shift, because technically it pulled right back and then up again. So if it was taken off this EMA shift, great entry. Excuse me. A great entry, right? So currently, it's sitting in profit at about 178 pips. It kind of peaked at 328. So realistically, that is almost a 6-to-1 within a week. I still believe it's going to climb higher, but as you can see, where we had a previous support line, it just wicked off that and it dropped hard. So it kind of tells me that it's a very good possibility, you know, if we draw 618 from this peak, or Fibonacci, sorry, not 618. Look at that play. Right there is the bottom. Incredibly close for that retracement. So I would say I would close this trade off personally. I'm not going to be continuing on any longer if by chance I was able to snag that perfect entry, right? My original one was here, and it was just, what a mess. I mean, again, just unfortunate, but sometimes that kind of crap happens, right? The play was good. It's just EMA shift. Maybe that yellow line would have been the perfect spot for it too, judging what we've seen in the past, right? Just a little bit of drop below it. So it would seem that off the 4-hour, this would have been a good candle pattern to look into. The only trouble is there was only an imbalance to look at here, right? So it looked like it was the imbalance that was in play. So, excuse me, geez. I'm really hoping not to keep going on with the video too much longer, but anyway, that's the play here. So if I'm still in the trade, I would be jumping out. CADJPY, you know, I marked up because I had a long-term goal in mind. It didn't, like, I'm expecting it to go up there, but we kind of hit a double top. And it's sitting off that yellow line, but you could see the hard rejection off that line. So when market opens, this would be a very good opportunity for an entry, seeming because the rest of the EMAs are still spread apart quite largely, and this just could be a good opportunity for a continuation. Euro AUD, still a ways away from my target for sell entry, so it's climbing as expected. The only trouble is over the last 5 days, it's really not done much, right? It actually dropped down. Let's see, it kind of peaked up here on Friday, and then we've lost 246 pips in the process. So not really that great right now. Same idea with EURCAD. It just been consolidating for a little bit. Looks like AUD and CAD, excuse me, picked up some steam. So target still remains. And remember, I was mentioning that this time of year it's going to be slow for entries, and as you've even seen, the entries that are almost valid, like it's a messy entry as well. So and yeah, GBPAUD, so on the daily, doesn't really look like it hit the mark there, but if we go on the 4-hour, this is looking pretty good. Okay, so it went up, and then I took a sell stop right at the entry zone, and it actually kind of worked out nicely because I was expecting this to drop, and I took the entry right at the end of this candle, so just the one candle shy before the EMA shift. And I'm glad I did, because if I did it on this one, that would have been unfortunate. Excuse me. That would have been unfortunate. That would have stopped me out right away. So the only reason I'm still in this trade is because I wasn't paying attention when it got to break even. So that's the only reason why I still had the stop loss set. So currently I'm, if I was following my rules and I wasn't spacing out at the beginning of the week, I would be out of the trade, but because I spaced out this time, it kind of benefited me. So currently sitting at 285 pips in profit. Not too shabby for a 74 pip stop loss, right? Like, it's still large. Like I said before, I don't really like going above 60. But this one, I had a feeling it was going to be dropping with some volatility, so I stretched it a little bit and I took a smaller lot size. And so far, it's paying off. I mean, 285 into 74 is approximately 4 times, right? So currently up 4-1 on this trade. It's looking okay. Now that the EMA is the little EMAs have shifted hard and crossed the pink, I think we're looking to be in good shape here. GBPJPY. Now, unfortunately, I mean, beginning of the week or end of the week kind of messy, and then it shot right through entry, and EMAs finally shifted at the end of this one. But I mean, yeah, this is going to be a wash. I don't. It didn't really go through the entry zone as predicted, so that one's kind of done. It was bouncing in between entry and stop loss, and I got stopped out. So that's unfortunate. Followed the rules, and I'm not going to jump in on the entry again. And then the EMA shift here. So here's the issue with this, right? So EMA shift, but it still went up 137 pips afterwards, right? So that would have totally been awful. Not many times are we going to get the EMA shifts that are nice and smooth, like right here, right, where you see crossing and then just a smooth sailing all the way down, right? Sometimes there's going to be a lot of this crap that happens. So typically when I see something like this, a very sharp move, there's going to be a pullback. I'll leave that there. But let's see, if we go from the high to the low right there, even on the fib, I'm going to be expecting a move somewhere around here before dropping lower. So realistically, GBPJPY is still set to drop, just may not be as sharp as this move right here, right? And like I was saying, sometimes the EMAs, when they shift, it's pretty straightforward, right? Even this one, it only went up 37 pips before dropping for a profit of almost 400, right? And then the messy EMA shifts would be like this one, where it finally crosses and then drops down 125, right? Kind of a bummer. Or, you can have something like this, an EMA shift here, and then, sitting in profit for about 130, 140, and then breaking even before it goes lower. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, not exactly the cleanest time of year that we're going to be seeing. That was a nice spot. Unfortunately, it was missed, but it's okay. GBPUSD. Again, that one was at the beginning of the month. I expected it to go much lower, but because of some volatility in the USD, once the EMA shifted again, I would have said get out. But, best case scenario would have been a 6-to-1. Worst case scenario is about a 3-to-1. So still a profitable trade overall. And let's see, USDCAD. Nothing too spectacular here to show. I just have it set on pink. It's part of my other strategy. But yeah, I'll dive into that one in the other video. And XTI, right, part of the UK oil, US oil chart markups. Just a whole bunch of fib hits over 4-hour time periods, right? So you can see right now it's rejecting off of the higher EMAs. And as far as Fibonacci goes, right, I mean, if we go from high to low here, right, high to low, stretch it across, deep retracement going down to 786. And if we go from this low to the high and stretch it across, right, we have 618 rejections for about a day and a half before it starts bouncing around. Okay, and even still, like watch, if I take a Fibonacci and I go from this low to this high, stretched across, look where we wicked off of, right? So it's like fibs within fibs within fibs. I mean, it's forming the flag pattern right now before it starts taking off for a buy. And that's what I can see happening right now. It's doing a little bit of this, it's gonna, before it finally kind of does its thing and takes off again. Okay, so we're in bullish flag territory here. Fibs within fibs within fibs. If you can see that happening, that's a good indication that a flag pattern is on its way. And it'll finally be broken at some point. As you can see, a historic, historic support and resistance lines weren't quite hit this time as they were right here. So, and where we started off at the beginning of the month. But anyway, that's Forex in a nutshell. Those are still my current picks and what worked out and what hadn't. So hope you were profitable this week, folks. It wasn't a great one. Just hope you keep in mind that, like I said, not going to be a great month for market structure trades. If anything, if you're nervous about trading or any losses, maybe next 3 months would be a good time to sit out. Otherwise, if you're feeling ambitious and you're familiar with chart markups, then at your own peril. All right, folks, see you next time. Thanks again for tuning in.